On today's Escape to the Country, we are venturing into uncharted waters as we step into a county that we've never been to before. It's full of some amazing and pretty quirky features, not least this one, Western Europe's largest man-made lake covering 3,000 acres. So where are we? Well, stick around and I'll tell you. On today's show, I'll be helping a couple move from their London pad to England's smallest county. And they've got very exacting expectations.
You would be able to fit my cooker, wouldn't you, into that space?
Yeah, we'd have to measure it, but I think your cooker would probably fit.
But there's always the mystery house.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah? Well, today we're in Rutland, and it's perhaps no surprise that we've never been here before because this is England's smallest county. But in the centre of it is this lot, Rutland Water, an enormous reservoir built in 1970 to supply water to towns like Peterborough, Northampton and Milton Keynes. It's so big, there are 160 billion litres of the stuff in here. Now, when it was created, of course, various things got submerged, but one of the things that survived is this Normanton Church, or, well, at least half of it, a fascinating reminder of the area's rich heritage. And along its 25 miles of shoreline, it's become a mecca of yacht clubs, hotels and fine restaurants. This really is a place with something for everybody, but there's a lot more to Rutland than just its liquid assets. Surrounded by county giants, Rutland borders Lincolnshire, Leicestershire, Northamptonshire and Cambridgeshire. The smallest county in England, it's just 17 by 18 miles across, and it only has two major towns, Oakham, the county town, and Uppingham. But this scenic slice of Middle England is not to be outdone by its neighbouring counties. Largely a rural region, the area features many attractive stone-built villages and a landscape which has changed little in 200 years. And of course, at its heart is Rutland Water, a wishbone-shaped lake that's a draw for wildlife and sports lovers alike. The county has seen its fair share of upheaval. In 1974, Rutland was merged with Leicestershire, but after a long campaign, independence was finally restored in 1997, and it became England's smallest county once more. There are also at least twice as many sheep as people here, and Rutland is also testimony to the old adage that small is beautiful. With its charming market towns and villages, this potted pocket of England attracts 1.6 million visitors a year. Now, Rutland's Latin motto reads multum in parvo, meaning much in little, which is quite appropriate given that we are in Britain's smallest county, which arguably has also the smallest signs to tell you that you've arrived. Blink, and quite honestly, you'd miss it. But as you might expect, in a small place that's very popular, house prices are also running at a premium, currently around about 10% above the national average. But for all that, if you do fancy a life in Rutland, there is plenty on offer. £265,000 will buy you this lovely two-bed, Grade 2 listed thatched cottage in Whissendine to the northwest of Rutland. It's full of character features, including exposed stone and beams, and has a charming two-tiered garden with a patio. Or if you're after an historic wow factor, this prime property in the village of Ketton dates back to 1890 and was built by the local stonemason. Constructed in the local honey-coloured stone that characterises the area, this house has been completely renovated over the last year. With 3 bedrooms, a courtyard garden and off-street parking, it'll set you back just under £470,000. And lastly, if you fancy yourself in a farmhouse estate, this fantastic 5-bedroom property in Thorpe by Water comes with the handsome price tag of £895,000. It's full of period features, including mullioned windows, quarry-tiled floors and carved stone fireplaces, as well as boasting 4 reception rooms, a wine cellar and spectacular views. And there's even an option on an acre of paddock. Well, with properties like that on offer, it's hard to imagine why on earth we've never been to Rutland before here on Escape to the Country. But at long last, thanks to today's buyers, we've made it. Meet Frank, an ex-policeman, and his wife Sue, a sales rep. They've been living in their 3-bed house in South London for the last 30 years. With Sue's retirement looming, they're keen to sell, but there is another reason why they want to move.
About 8 years ago, Frank had cancer, quite a virulent form of cancer, and in fact was only given 5% chance of pulling through. So happily, of course, he did, but that made us take stock of our life more, and we now feel that that probably was a bit of a wake-up call.
I retired last year. Sue is coming up to retirement this year. And we thought it's that time of life when we'd like to go back to what is my roots, in fact, and live in the country.
With the prospect of giving up work and having more time to spare, Sue would like to change pace and indulge her favourite hobby.
And now is a good time to move to get to the tranquility of the countryside so that I can pursue my first love, dressage.
Their current house has considerable living space and a garden with a summer house, but they're not intending to compromise on the size of their new home.
At least 2, possibly 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, minimum 2, but the more the better.
And they don't want a new build.
We're looking for a barn conversion or a period property, perhaps Georgian style, but with a slick interior.
Sue also has a clear idea on what she wants from the kitchen.
I'd like it to be a very large kitchen with granite tops, maybe a slick contemporary kitchen or a well-fitted period style kitchen.
And it has to accommodate one non-negotiable feature.
Our range, I absolutely love it. It's restaurant commercial standard, so it makes cooking on it so easy and accurate. I know this sounds weird, but I wouldn't buy a house that I couldn't fit this range into, because I'm certainly not leaving it here.
But of course, it's the price that will set the standard for what they can achieve.
Our maximum budget for this move is £400,000.
Gorgeous as this county may be, it is going to stretch their £400,000 budget. Yes, their requirements are fairly simple: characterful house with 3 bedrooms and a manageable garden. But I do suspect here on Escape to the Country, we're going to have to work a little bit of good old-fashioned magic. Frank and Sue have a budget of £400,000 to help them make their rural escape to a patch of paradise in Rutland. We don't have a vast amount of ground to cover, so we'll be heading to the heart of the county, focusing our search around the market town of Oakham. We've selected 3 great properties to show our buyers, but as usual, I won't be letting on how much they're on the market for until they've had a shot at guessing the price first. And I'm hoping our mystery house will help them think outside the box.
But let's have a think about exactly what you're after. How well do you know the property market here, Sue?
I have researched it quite a lot on the internet. So one thing that does strike me is that the property prices are quite high. But for the area and the beauty of the area and the availability of transport links, I think it's well worth trying to find something that would fit our budget.
And now your budget of £400,000, as you've probably seen by looking online and so forth, you know, is going to be, I'd say challenge, but you're going to probably spend most of it. Any movement on that at all?
Down.
Everybody says that, yeah. Up a little bit, perhaps?
For the right property, we'll be realistic and flexible.
Yeah. Well, we've got some really interesting properties for you to look at. Let's go see what we can find you.
Yeah.
Great.
Come on.
Thank you, Jules.
Thanks.
So with a budget of £400,000, Frank and Sue want a detached period property with a minimum of 3 bedrooms on the edge of a lively village. And there's one key element they're after. Sue is into her cooking, so she'd like a glossy fitted kitchen, and it's an absolute must that there's enough space for her beloved range. Sounds like an interesting recipe to me. Surrounded by countryside that's scattered with woods, our first property is in the conservation village of Braunston, 2 miles west of Oakham and just 3 miles from Rutland Water. Braunston is a lively place which has several farmhouses dating back to the 1600s and a number of cottages with either thatch or tiled roofs. The house we're looking at is thought to date back to the 1800s.
Right then, well, let's start with property number 1. There you go, Sue. Frank, what do you think?
Lovely.
Picturesque.
Yeah.
Yeah, the early bit is to the left with the porch and so forth. But you wanted stone exterior,
And we've got stone.
and you've got stone. Okay.
Great.
There's a later, I guess, Victorian addition there. You can see with the red brick as well. And then you've got this feature
Oh, that's
here.
part of it, isn't it?
This is all part of it too, which is a much later arrangement, something of a converted barn with another extension on here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So let's cut to the chase. Get inside, see what you make of it.
Great.
Yeah?
Good.
The interior of this house also has a few surprises in store, and I'll be interested to see what they think.
Here we are. You've got 2 doors to choose from, but we'll pick this one.
Okay.
Right, Sue, come on in. What do you think, Frank?
Different, unusual. Yeah.
How so that it's different?
I think I expected it to be a bigger room. Seemed okay.
It's not the only reception room you've got. Here.
No.
That's the good news.
But I think if you painted it a different colour and perhaps put coving in to just lift the room, I think we could do a lot with it.
Good. Okay, because I was a bit nervous when thinking, well, maybe it's a bit too cottagey.
It is small, but if it's not the only reception room,
Oh, no.
it could end up as just a cosy sitting room.
Yeah, snug, you know, somewhere for you to hide away on your Todd.
Yeah.
You can get a snooker table in here.
Let's continue through here. Now then, dining room.
Which is something I wanted.
Yeah? Because it did say on the list that entertaining was of importance.
It is.
It is.
Very much so.
Could you envisage the sort of
Yeah.
things that you do in
Oh,
here?
yeah.
Certainly, yeah, we could.
So the dining room gets the thumbs up, but will the kitchen meet Sue's rather precise requirements?
Now then, Sue, take it all in.
Is that the only form of cooking on the range?
It is not. There is an electric cooker through here, okay, through this little corridor, which we'll explore a bit later. But let's talk about the range, because on its own, this is lovely, but it's not yours. Because unusually, you want to bring your cooker with you.
I do.
Because of what it
That's
is.
right.
Not often we get that on Escape to the Country. Cookers normally stay where they are. Would your cooker fit in there, for example?
I think
It looks very similar
would.
in width.
I think it would.
Okay, right then. So we've seen, well, a living room, dining room, which you wanted. Kitchen, we think we can kind of work with. Through this door is the other half of the house, and it's kind of all that, but again.
Wow.
Yeah. Come and have a look, see what you think. So this is the alternative cooker that we mentioned. Now this is quite useful. Downstairs, double shower, power shower, loo and all the rest of it. And then in here, this, the living room.
Goodness me, what a surprise.
Yeah.
Imagine it to be here.
Well, you
wouldn't
wouldn't credit it, would you? The question is, what would you do with it?
Could be a bedroom, I suppose.
be a guest room.
Guest room.
Certainly food for thought. Leading off this ground floor lounge is yet another room which the current owners use as a study, but which does offer scope for a range of uses. Upstairs, this house has 2 guest bedrooms and an appealing master.
Right.
Oh, this is a good size, isn't it?
Yeah?
The low window appeals to me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's because you like lying in bed, Frank. It's the only way you're going to see out of it is to lie down.
That's right. You've got him, Jules.
Yeah, got him sussed. But this is the master bedroom for the simple reason that it's the biggest of the lot. None of them have got an ensuite, but of course you've got the family bathroom up here
Yeah,
as
that
well.
doesn't. It's not.
So lots of options. I think the point is it offers you quite a lot of flexible accommodation,
Yeah.
which is what's quite
I
nice.
didn't
about it.
think this bedroom would be so large.
You know, I think it's rather nice. So effectively, you've potentially got 4 bedrooms here.
Yes.
If you were to make use of downstairs.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to think outside the box already, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
So it sounds like Frank and Sue are warming to this place, and I'm confident they'll like the outside space too.
So cross the track into your garden. Have a look at this. I think it's really sweet, actually.
Oh, it is. Beautiful.
Bigger than you expect, isn't it, really?
Well, it is pretty generous, actually, considering
Yeah.
where we are.
Yeah.
It is really nice.
Yeah,
Lovely.
this is...
I get the sense that this one has been a bit of a surprise for you.
It has. It's something. If I'd have seen it on the internet, I wouldn't have even come and looked.
Question is, how much do you think it's on the market for?
Well, Jules, given the locality of the property, I think it's got to be 395,000.
395. Frank?
I think Sue's probably underestimating, and I would think it would probably be up to our budget of 400.
400. You, madam, are absolutely right.
Ah,
Yeah. £395,000.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
yeah,
pleasant
that's
surprise
about
to me.
right. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Well, look, go and have a look around, and I'll catch up with you a little bit later.
Okay, Jules.
Off you
Thanks
go.
very much.
Enjoy. Brilliant.
Priced at £395,000, this pretty stone cottage is just within Frank and Sue's budget. It's got 3 bedrooms, including an ample master. It offers lovely rural views, and of course it has a kitchen which should be able to accommodate Sue's all-important range.
You would be able to fit my cooker, wouldn't you, into that space?
Yeah, we'd have to measure it, but I think your cooker would probably fit.
And the cooker hood.
Rome wasn't built in a day, so...
Okay, I'll wait a week. The real surprise for me was the annex, the other wing that's been built on. And that really did open up a lot more possibilities.
Ah, here we are, our intrepid house hunters. Come and see it, Frank. Have you figured it all out?
I think so.
Yeah?
Just
We've got-
minor details left.
There
Minor
are
details.
Ideas in here, yes.
Good. Keep them coming.
At the centre of our property search is Oakham, Rutland's county town. First mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1086, Oakham was originally occupied by the Saxons, and its name derives from a local Saxon lord called Ocker. The impressive spire of the parish church was built in the 14th century and is visible for miles around. One of the great attractions in this ancient county is Oakham Castle. Not a castle in the traditional sense, but rather the remains of an early medieval fortified manor house. Built in 1190, its great stone hall represents one of the finest examples of its kind anywhere in the country. Earlier in the week, we arranged for Frank and Sue to meet up with Richard Adams, a local historian, to find out more about it, and the unique collection of horseshoes that adorn its walls. Something that should be of interest to Sue, who's a keen rider.
In fact, every peer of the realm that comes here is supposed to deposit a horseshoe. The earliest one is this up here, Edward IV, 1470. The most recent one, Princess Alexandra, I think that was 2005.
Yeah.
And between, well, take Queen Elizabeth there. Can you see the little racing plate
Yes.
in the middle?
Yes.
That's from her horse.
Oriel.
Oriel, that's it.
The collection now numbers more than 200. Within easy walking distance of Oakham is Rutland Water, located in over 3,000 acres of expansive countryside. This giant reservoir has become a major tourist attraction, and it's also internationally recognised for its wildlife. Ospreys used to be a common sight in England until heavy poaching in the 19th and early 20th centuries wiped them out. In 1996, a project started to reintroduce them back into this area from Scotland. Frank and Sue will be looking for activities to fill their leisure time once they move, so we arranged for them to meet Tim Mackrell, the Osprey Project Officer at Rutland Water Nature Reserve.
Right then, let's see if we can see an osprey for real.
It'd be great if we could.
The female's on the nest.
In 1999, some of the birds that had been relocated to Rutland returned again after their winter migration to Africa. And by 2001, the first pair had bred.
Now probably it's about 4 o'clock now, so the male, he'll have flown off and he'll have gone fishing. And the great thing about this nest, as you can see, is it's right by the water, so he doesn't have to go far to catch fish.
And visitors don't have to be in the hide to view these amazing birds.
The birds have got no idea that thousands of people all over the world are looking at them, because we've got that's linked up to our website, so people from America have been watching in the last few days. So absolute stars, those two birds.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
So after seeing the ospreys make Rutland their new home, maybe Frank and Sue will be inspired to do the same. The second house on our property hunt is in the midst of the honey-coloured cottages of Liddington, a rural conservation village just 5 minutes' drive from Uppingham. The village is brimming with historic buildings, such as Liddington Bede House, a former shelter for the poor that was once part of a medieval bishop's palace. There's also the 14th century St Andrew's Church, which is just around the corner from our next offering.
Right. Our second property for you.
Oh, very
Different.
Yeah, it is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
impressive. It's impressive.
Now, the nice thing about this is that you're in the village, but on the edge of it.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
You've got access to everything you'd want up there, but here you've got peace, quiet, countryside surrounding
Beautiful.
us. And a building which is not the oldest in the village either. You know, 6 years old.
But it's nicely
How
done,
long?
isn't it?
Six.
Six.
Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Yeah?
I'm impressed, yeah.
Good, because I knew you said you weren't entirely happy about new builds, but I think this is well
Yeah.
worth looking at,
Yeah.
and because of where it is.
Yeah, and the setting as well, it's lovely.
Yeah. Shall we?
Yeah,
Please.
Come on then.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
So initial reactions are positive despite the fact that this is a new build. But will the interior have the space they want and room for Sue's all-important range cooker?
Right. Come on in. Grab the door, Frank.
Yeah, certainly.
Wow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like?
Yes.
Very much so.
It does have the wow factor, doesn't it?
Lovely.
But would this space work for you, Sue?
Yeah. It would, Jules, as long as I could get my cooker in.
I think you can. Have a look at this. The kitchen, as it is, the units, you know, they're perfectly nice and serviceable, but not, you know, particularly valuable. And clearly this cooker is nowhere near as big as yours.
No.
Yours is at least twice as big as that, isn't it?
It's ocean going, mine.
Yeah, well, exactly. So I'm thinking you would really start again with all of this lot.
Blank canvas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's
And in terms of storage and so forth, there's a very generous utility room through that door there, with another kind of boot room as well.
Oh, right.
So you've got plenty of room and a back door. But of course, it does all kind of drift through here. Have a look at this. So this is the kind of main living area, reception area.
Oh, yes. Very bright and airy.
Yeah?
square. I like that.
The point about it is we haven't got this warren of rooms that we had in our earlier property. So we haven't got you a separate dining room, for instance.
No.
But is that an issue? Because you've got all this sort of lovely open plan, slick space.
I don't think it would be an issue in this house, no.
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 The way this house presents, I like.
Excellent. Let's head upstairs.
Now this, I think, is quite surprising, actually. This great big lights landing.
It is spacious, isn't it?
Yeah. And off of here, we've got you 4 bedrooms.
4.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, that's brought a smile to your face, right?
And the minstrel's gallery.
And a minstrel's gallery. Let's start in
Just
here.
sing on.
Have a look at this one. To kick off, up here. 1 of the 4, as I say. Sue?
The thing that strikes me immediately is there's no apparent place to put wardrobes,
This is true.
because I have got lots of clothes.
Well, this isn't the only bedroom,
Oh,
of course, so this could be a very generous guest room.
guest room, yeah.
Although you are right. I mean, that's one of the things with these kind of,
Yeah.
vaulted ceilings.
Yeah.
Family bathroom is in there.
Yeah.
Right, you can explore that a bit later.
Okay.
Bedroom, say 2, as
Yeah.
it were, in there. This is a kind of much smaller box room.
Make a good study.
And then finally, we've got this one. Now, it's not the master bedroom, but it is the only one with an ensuite behind you. in
Oh,
there.
right, yeah.
Have a quick
Yeah.
look. Just put your heads in. Which is
Yeah. Nice shower cubicle.
very nice. I mean, it's a shame in a way that the bigger bedroom doesn't have the ensuite.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
And obviously that's a very big bit of furniture which is taking up a lot of space in here. But as a guest room, it's perfectly lovely.
Yes.
So how are we doing so far on this one?
I think we're divided, as Sue and I. I could live here without any trouble at all.
The bedrooms, for me, let it down because of the shape of the architecture, the eaves.
Because they're all kind of vaulted like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it means, for me, there wouldn't be enough storage.
Yeah. Well, let's not give up just yet.
No,
Let's finish off in the garden
Yeah.
No.
and talk about the money, because I'm sure that's going to have a bearing on it as well. After you. Go on, Frank.
Thanks.
Yes, the great money chat. Better done outside, where there's more room to breathe.
Now, in terms of the garden, we've pretty much seen it on the way in, because what you see is what you get, I'm afraid. But I get the sense that from everything we've talked about thus far, this is, the sort of size that would...
Oh,
more
it's
than-
ample, yes.
But it also affords you this, parking area here. There's the oil tank for the oil central heating and so forth. And of course, this, I think, very, very pretty house.
It is pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are definitely things you could do.
But of course, it all depends on how much you really want it. So let's think about the money. Who went first last time?
Me.
Sue. OK, so Frank, make me an offer.
4 bedrooms, village location, Rutland, 415.
415. Yep. Sue.
Yeah. Beautiful village, lovely aspect, pretty house. £5 short of 400.
So 3,999.
5.
9,500 or something. I'm useless at maths. OK, this could be yours for £425,000. They don't come up on the market in this village that often, so I think it probably is well worth you thinking about.
I think so. Yeah.
And given that you like it,
Yes.
twist her arm.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Go on, Frank. You're a copper. You should be good at that.
I'm not.
Off you go. I'll see you later on.
Thank you, Jules.
At £425,000, this house is over budget, but that's largely down to its fantastic location. It doesn't need much work and would give our buyers the opportunity to move in straight away. It's got 4 good-sized bedrooms, and the kitchen is a great space, which would allow Sue to put her stamp on it and make it her own. And of course, there's plenty of room for the oven.
We would probably take this out and replace it.
I think that's a good idea. Just start from scratch and design it to our needs.
Yeah. This house, being comparatively newly built, is, to my mind, one that would be easily maintained.
I felt really that the house let down a little bit upstairs. I think the bedrooms really, on reflection, are a little too small.
I'm quite happy with it. I like the house.
Well, Frank, did you manage to persuade Sue?
Well, I think time only will tell.
So as the day draws to a close over the waters of Rutland, our buyers get some time to reflect on today's properties. Armed with £400,000, Frank and Sue want to ditch the frenzy of life in London and build a less hectic existence in Rutland's countryside. They've found good things to say about both of the properties we've shown them so far.
I think we could do a lot with it. Oh, yes. Very bright and airy.
But will the mystery house surpass their wildest dreams?
Absolutely amazing. You've done it. You've done it.
And I'll be discovering how a local railway system put iron ore production back on the map.
This is very exciting, guys. Well, as we said yesterday, Frank and Sue's £400,000 was always going to have to work pretty hard here in Rutland, and although we've seen some beautiful properties, I think they've yet to really be wowed. So let's hope that our final one, the Mystery House, can do the trick as we head out on our last day of house hunting. So, Mystery House, what could it be?
I think it could be an apartment.
Well, I tell you what, if you look at that sign there,
Ah, Leicestershire.
it's in Leicestershire.
Oh, right.
Now, as always, our Mystery House offers up a surprise or two. And so for our third offering, we're heading to Wickham near Scalford, a village just outside the county of Rutland in Leicestershire. Scalford is Old English for shallow ford, and its church is named after St Egilwyn, the only one in the country to be named after this saint. The village has a post office and a pub, and the area is popular with horse riders.
Well, this is it. This is the Mystery House,
Oh,
at long last.
wow.
The waiting's over. You like?
Oh, I love it.
Very nice, isn't it?
Yeah? What is it about that one, then?
It's the symmetry of it. It looks absolutely immaculate. I love the windows, and that yellow stone is gorgeous.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Come and have a look.
Please.
Now, although it's not in Rutland, I'm pretty sure our buyers will like this house, because it's got everything they had on their wish list and more.
In you come, Sue. Grab the door, Frank.
Jules,
Come on in. What do you think?
this is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah? And a nice contemporary feel to this.
This is lovely. Beautiful.
Yes, yes.
This is the original bit of the house. There is a later extension put on in the 70s, not that you'd know from the outside.
Have you noticed the cooker?
Yes, now. I've got a solution, though, for you. You could take the unit out that's behind you
Yes.
and that cooker, which is lovely. Seems a shame to move it, but if you wanted to put your bigger one in, you could fit it there
do that, yes.
and keep that there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, then I've got my cooker
You've got both.
and the beauty of that as well.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of this mixture of contemporary and old and a bit of character, I think this works.
Fits it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Look, Frank's smiling today.
And they're in the kitchen. He never smiles in the kitchen.
Well, if you like this, you're going to love the rest of it. Come and have a look.
Save the best till last.
And then through here, we've got the dining room.
Oh, this is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah?
Beautiful.
What do you think, Frank?
I like it.
Yeah?
You're clever.
Hey, good, right. Hey, come and have a look at this. You're going to love this bit. Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah?
no.
How about that?
You wouldn't expect to find that, would you?
No.
Well,
Absolutely amazing. And this is really what I love, the old, but with a bit of slick interior.
well, you've got the ironstone walls coming through, which is lovely, but the best is yet to come.
No.
Oh, yeah. Come and have a look in here.
Wow. Another wow. I love that, the wardrobes.
This room could be used as a bedroom because the windows are sunken and don't allow as much light in as upstairs. It also works well because it has an ensuite shower room. But let's see what they think of the first floor space and the living room the current owners have created. I have a feeling they'll be impressed.
There, how about this then?
This is lovely, isn't it?
And it gets us up to this.
Goodness me, what a surprise.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. They've even got a projector screen up there.
Yes, well spotted, because you've got a big screen on the wall over there.
right.
So you've got your own kind of mini cinema, surround sound all plugged in.
You don't have to do a thing. Not a thing.
I mean, the question is, can you see yourselves genuinely using a house like this and relaxing in space such as we see?
I could, definitely. Love it.
Oh, well, what the good lady says goes, I think.
No, seriously, Frank, I mean, from your own perspective.
I could, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as expected, they love the living room and its design. And the bathroom is pretty special too.
There, what about that?
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Well, you wanted, funky.
You've done it. You've done it.
There's a further guest bedroom or study, and then, of course, the master, which I have no doubt will be a hit.
Oh, I love the room.
Yeah?
Beautiful.
Has this got an ensuite as well?
No, it has a walk-in wardrobe.
Oh, right.
Again, lovely decor. It's exactly the colours we would choose.
So we're scoring quite highly on the mystery
It
house.
is. It's
When do we move in?
When do you move in?
Well, that's the way I like it. Our mystery house has totally hit the jackpot, and outside there are yet more surprises to come. The property has 3 outbuildings, including a double garage that can be used as storage or indeed a workshop. And above it, there's an artist's studio. The garden is just the right size for Frank and Sue and has the benefit of facing south.
No, I love this sort of busy, profuse garden
Yeah, it's beautifully
and everything's
planted,
just
isn't it?
spilling out. So you've got this area of lawn.
Yeah. I mean, I know you said we've moved from Rutland, but you wouldn't know it. It's still got all the charm and the Yellowstone.
Well, Rutland's so tiny, to be honest with you. We haven't come that far over the border.
No.
I mean, give or take, there really isn't much in it.
No.
So it begs the question, our final price guess of the week,
How much?
guys.
Yes,
how much is the mystery house on for?
Well, given the beautiful location and the stunning house, I think it's got to be 435.
435, so over budget there, Frank.
Well, I would hope for it to be less, but hope springs eternal in the human breast, I suppose. So I'm going to guess at 420.
420. Well, I'm going to give you some very, very good news, because you don't have to stretch that far at all, because this is under budget
No.
by 50 quid.
Really?
This could be yours for 399,950.
That is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah? Happy days.
Yeah. And I've made a decision. I'm going to sell the cooker.
You're going to sell the cooker?
Yeah.
This £8,000 cooker?
Yeah.
It's going to go?
Yeah.
Because you want this house?
Yeah.
Well, it's the deposit, isn't it, almost?
It is. It is. And more money to go shopping with.
Brilliant. Well,
Brilliant.
look, go and have a look at those outbuildings, Frank. There are the keys. Go and find
Thank
yourself
you.
a workshop a studio, an office, you name it, it's all out there.
Thank you, Jules.
And I'll catch up with you later.
Okay,
Off you go.
thanks.
Brilliant.
So at just £50 shy of their £400,000 budget, this surprising stone cottage just over the border in Leicestershire has brought about the impossible and made Sue consider getting rid of her range. With 3 great-sized bedrooms, 1 with an ensuite dressing room, this house has the perfect mix of an old exterior and modern interior that really appeals to Sue. And it's got a selection of outbuildings for Frank to play in.
Oh, this is good, Frank. Look at this. What do you think?
But,
Workshop or?
Oh, the workshop appeals to me.
Appeals to me, leaving my car in it.
So we'd have to come to compromise on that.
As soon as we walked up to the front of this property, I was excited. As we walked through into the entrance hall, it just got better and better with each room. Everything for me is perfect.
Come on, guys, out you come.
Hi, Jules.
Enjoy that?
We were just placing the furniture, actually.
Very good. So you're moving in already, Frank?
Well, I had a job to prize her out of there.
Well, it's certainly a lovely property, but of course it's not the only one we've shown you. So let's go and have a cup of coffee, talk through them all, and see where you go from here.
Sounds good.
Yeah? Come on then.
Now, it might be England's smallest county, but Rutland still played its part in the Industrial Revolution. Sitting on iron ore sedimentary rock that was formed in the Jurassic era, like many other counties in the East Midlands, it was once a hotbed of iron ore mining. Quarrying here has a rich history which stretches back to Roman times, and the region has always been a key producer. I've come to meet Peter Layfield and Robin Vickers, who are volunteers at the Rocks by Rail Living Ironstone Museum, created by a group of enthusiasts who purchased this 15-acre site in Cottesmore around 30 years ago, with a view to recreating a typical quarry as it might have looked in the mid to late 20th century.
Now, Peter, look, I've got my souvenir piece of ironstone.
Yes.
How important to the region was this stuff?
Well, it was vital, really, for the local economy because a great number of people were employed in the ironstone industry, extracting it from the earth and sending it off to Scunthorpe or Corby or various other ironworks around the region. So it became a very important part as far as Rutland was concerned, both from the employment point of view and obviously from a financial point of view.
2, 3, hop! Originally a collection of young men who just wanted to preserve old steam engines, there are now between 60 and 80 volunteers involved in the project, keeping it alive through donations and a labour of love. They are currently restoring 3 engines in the locomotive shed.
This is the thing, isn't it?
This is the oldest Hunslet steam locomotive that's in existence, and it was originally bought for the ironstone industry and the quarries around the Corby area.
When was it built? What sort of date are we talking about?
1894, which is a fair while ago.
So this is a real rarity, then?
It is, yes it is.
There are about 30 old trains in total on the site, a combination of steam and diesel, but only a third of these are currently operational, so there's plenty of work still to do.
Oh, this is a real kind of graveyard, isn't it?
This is our pride and joy.
Is it?
It's taken us the last 5 years to restore from an absolute wreck, and it's now our mainstay as far as the steam fleet is concerned.
Have you got anything that I can get on board and have a sense of what it's like?
Yes, we have an engine called Mr. D. Would you like to come and see it?
Absolutely, yeah, lead on. Where are we?
Yes.
Which one is it?
Right.
Take your pick.
This is Mr. D with his name on the side.
When they relaunch later this year, the volunteers are hoping that visitors will be able to get the full steam experience and actually learn to drive a locomotive or an excavator themselves.
Wow, look at this. Good heavens, it's a proper industrial brute, this, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
OK, where do you want me?
Come here and drive it from here.
Yes.
You drive it from here?
Yes.
Not from there?
No.
OK. I'm really nervous about this. Go on.
So brake
let
off.
the brake off, all the way.
Yep.
Right. And then push
That's
that gently forward.
And then gently forward and we should move. That's it.
That's fabulous. That's amazing. How about that? I'm driving a Rolls-Royce train. This is very exciting, guys. Now, there's another train up there. We ought to slow down.
Well, if you'd like to pull the brake towards you, nice and gently, that's it, and we'll slowly come to a halt. There you are.
Peter, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
Robin, thank you very much, guys. I could spend all day
enjoyed
here.
it, yes.
I really could. This is just brilliant. Well, we've scoured Rutland and we've hopped over the border into Leicestershire. We looked at 3 fantastic properties, but which one, if any, are Frank and Sue going to go for? Well, I'm pretty sure I have a good idea. Is it the same as yours, I wonder? Well, I have to say, for our first trip to Rutland, you've been a fantastic couple to have on board. It's been a real treat to come here, so thanks for wanting to move to this part of the country.
Well, it's been the most enjoyable trip, really.
Key thing, though, is have we managed to find you your new dream home?
Yeah.
The first one that we went to.
There was a lot to like about it. It grew on me as I went through. The kitchen, if we could knock that back wall out in the kitchen to make it just larger and perhaps lose the corridor, that could have been an option.
Well, then we took you to our second property.
I liked the situation of the house and the appearance of it. It didn't look like a new build. And the kitchen was a good space.
Well, I have to confess that when we finished our first day, I was a bit anxious, really, because I think we'd yet to find this interesting mix of old and new that you've been seeking. But then we got up and we took you to our mystery house.
Oh,
Talk me through that one, Sue.
Yeah.
oh it's just...
Well,
the whole situation of it, I had a feeling that I would fall in love with it when we first saw the front of it.
I think it's a wonderful place. I really do. And with a lot of potential.
So in terms of the obvious choice, it is the mystery house.
Yeah, yeah.
Without doubt.
Yeah,
It was just a very clever, tasteful blend of old and high spec, high tech. There was nothing to fault, for me to fault.
And how about the fact that the mystery house wasn't in Rutland?
Rutland was our starting point, in fact,
Yeah,
to move out a little bit.
not an issue.
We've found something we would like. You know.
There you go. Brilliant, guys. Well, it's obviously going to take a bit of time to work through the details and so forth, but it's a fantastic property. I do hope you're able to get it. You won't regret it, I'm sure.
No.
So best of luck. Yeah, let's cross everything. Well done.
Thank you, Jules.
Yeah.
Our pleasure.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you, yeah.
Well, as you can probably tell, we've had an awful lot of fun house hunting here in Rutland and the surrounding area. We've seen some fantastic houses and been greeted by some very warm and welcoming people. Reason enough for anybody to want to move to this part of the world. So despite the fact that it's our first visit to England's smallest county, I suspect that thanks to Frank